welcome to one more video from 161 Power Sports, and in this video we're talking about this Vitacci Vader 125. As you can see, it's a compact size motorcycle. I'm about 5'9" and 220 pounds, and this is how I fit on this bike right here. So as you can see from the size of this, it's a very compact motorcycle. It's great to ride around the city with this thing. Gives you great gas mileage. And this one right here, the front looks of it, as you can tell, most of you, that this one is a Grom style motorcycle right here. Let me show you the headlights. It's got LED headlights right here with the high beams and low beam right there. Alrighty guys, so let's talk more details about what this bike is really about. Alright, so as you can see, it's got 12-inch wheels in the front. It's got hydraulic disc brakes, so braking is no problem at all. It's got inverted forks right here. Very nice suspension. 1.5 gallon gas tank right there. So this bike right here, being 125cc, gives you roughly right at about, I would say, 70 to 80 miles to the gallon. So gas is going to be very cheap and you can ride this bike with no problem. Now it comes with sets of 2 keys right here, one for the gas tank and then same key that goes in the ignition right there. Alright, let's look at the instrumentation panel right here. It's got the fuel gauge, RPM, odometer, speedometer, and then it's got a clock on it too. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's talk about the lightings. It's got the gear indicator right here, so it'll tell you when you're in neutral. Right there, headlights turn on. When you flick this on this side right here, that means you're on high beam, and it'll tell you when you're on high beam right there with that blue light. Come on. It's got a pass switch right here, a choke, a really handy choke right on the handlebar, so you don't have to reach all the way back down to the carburetor. This is a 125cc engine, 4-stroke, single cylinder, air cooled. It's got 4-speed manual transmission, so this bike actually gives you more control on the bike than an automatic one. We do have the automatic, which is the Rocket 150s. We also got the Dragon 200s, the Falcon 200s, and the Falcon 250s, but this one right here is manual transmission. So for anybody out there that's trying to get on a bike, start to learn, and start their motorcycle journey, I think this would be a great bike for them because the price point is absolutely great. It's starting right at about like $13.99. You heard it right. It's going to be $13.99, and we can ship this nationwide. It comes in a crate option and assembled option, so you guys choose. So there's a link on the description below. When you open it up, it will prompt you to our website, and you have the ability to select if you guys want it assembled or fully tested running unit. Over to you. Alright, so shifting is quite simple. What do is you got to grab the clutch, one down, that means you're on first gear, and then the trick is to balance your gas and your clutch lever right here, so you can just ease into the flow. Now every gear level, so 1, 2, 3, 4, has its own speed limit, and you can tell by the RPM, the way the engine revs, when it's time to shift gear. So every gear level has that. So on the first gear, you probably be able to get it up to like 6-7 miles per hour, and then it's time to change when the RPM goes, it revs up really high, like and then you grab the clutch again, let go of the gas, and then upshift it. So it's 1 down, 3 up. In the middle, between 1 and 2, there's neutral gear. That means the bike won't move, like as in it won't accelerate in that gear. So neutral, the way you can test it is make sure the light N is on, and you can roll it freely, just like this. When it's in gear, it hesitates. See, the rear wheel kind of feels like it's like brake locked. So that's a good way to test and see without the light being on that if you're on neutral or on gear. Alright, so that's that. I would say check out another video to learn in depth on how to ride a manual gear bike. So after you're done watching this video, do watch another video which will post in detail on how to shift a manual transmission and how to get into that without any worries. Alright, so let's get back into the details on this bike. Let's look at the handlebars. So all the control features right here. So we talked about the clutch lever. Here's your pass light, high beam, low beam control switch. This is your blinkers right here. And you push it in the middle to disengage. So that's left, right, disengage. That means it's turned off. Now this right here is your horn. So everything is accessible with your thumb, and your index finger. On this one right here, on the right hand side, you have this engine stop and engine run position on the kill switch. So this is your safety kill switch as well. So when you turn on the bike, always make sure you're on this position right here, because this is the engine run position. If you try to start the bike in engine stop position, which is this, it will never start. So make sure you're on this position. This is your headlight controls right here. So all the way to the right, it's turned off. In the middle is just the running lights, and this is when your headlights are turned on. All right. So this at the bottom, very bottom, that's your push button start. So it's got electric start, guys. So you don't have to worry about kick starting it all the time like on dirt bikes, which is nice. Pretty standard feature across every type of motorcycle. Now you see this right here. This is something, it's called the throttle cable, right? Since it's a carbureted unit, you always got to make sure your RPM is at a very good idling point. So here's this owner's manual. It will tell you what's an optimal idle level on this motorcycle, right? And you have a gauge to like compare it with. So make sure that RPM that's mentioned on the manual is on this screen. And to adjust that, you have this right here. It's got this washer, so you open it up like this, it's going to go high up on idle. You close it up, and it's going to go low on idle, and you adjust that with that. Now, additional control comes in on the carburetor as well. So there's like a little, let's see if we can get access to that from this side. I don't think we see it yet, but on the carburetor, there's another screw that you can use to control your idling point on this motorcycle. So that's a little bit on the maintenance side. All right, so come over on this side. Let me show you the oil pan. All right, so this is your oil reservoir. This is where your oil goes in. That's your dipstick right here. Always make sure to check the dipstick for the exact amount of oil that goes in there. So usually it's always about a little less than a quart. It takes 10W40 as your oil. That's optimal weight blend on this motorcycle. That's recommended from the manufacturer. Now, this one, it's a hydraulic brakes in the back too. So this is your brake control for the rear, and that's your hydraulic disc brakes in the back. And you still get the 12-inch wheels in the back. These are all DOT approved, DOT approved tires, street legal. It comes with the full package of it being able to be street legal. So meaning if you're a what does that mean, let's say, for a local resident that wants to buy this, local Texas resident that wants to buy this motorcycle? That means you come into our store, you place an order, we can get your tax, title, license, registration, all that done for you. You walk out with a temporary plate that's good for 60 days, and then you get your hard plates come in the mail, or you can come stop by and pick it up at the store. All right, it's got a license plate holder right in the back, license plate holder light right here. It's got the brake light right over there, and a little mud guard to protect it from mud coming hitting your back. A little bike, you get a little bike rack right here, so you can put some cargo in it. You put your backpack, whatever you got, you could just tie it down over here, so that will come handy. It's got a heat shield on top of that muffler, so it prevents you from getting any type of heat burns. Passenger pegs holds, this bike holds about 330 pounds, so if you think it's just for you, one single ride, go for it. If you think you've got enough space, you can fit 2 people in there, but I highly doubt that. Guys like my size, it's a good compact bike, but not recommended with the passenger. So if I get on this bike, I don't see who I can put in the back. But if you're, let's say, a little bit smaller than me, and you know, like 2 people can fit, just go for it. It's designed for 2 people. It's got the pegs, everything ready. All right. So that's that on this bike. Now talk about the speed. Now this gets up to right at about like 55 miles per hour plus, meaning you can like go up to 55. Cruising range, expect it to be roughly right about like 45, 50. The bike will handle great, no problems. Now this bike also comes in different colors. This is your red. We've got it in white and black and blue. So all those colors are available with 161 Power Sports. Check out our website and put that color preference in there when you place an order, so we can get this thing to you with the right color. Now, what does this bike mean? So let's say we being a store here and shipping it nationwide for out-of-state resident, right? So anybody that's living outside of Texas. Now you're still able to order this. We can drop ship it to your door or have it like delivered assembled. Now, two things. You would need a bill of sale with us with the VIN number, year, make, model mentioned on there, and you need a certificate of origin. Once you get those two documents, you can go to your local DMV and get this thing registered. Usually a state inspection is required. We don't do any type of state inspections for out of state. Texas, it's required. We do that, get that done. Like I said, we take care of all that for you guys. But for out of state customers, we are able to give you the bill of sale, the certificate of origin. If your state requires this bike to be inspected before it gets registered, please find that out so that way you know you can get everything in line to get this thing bike street ready for you guys. All right, so that's that. So bill of sale, certificate of origin, and sometimes some states might require odometer disclosure statement, so you can check that out with the DMV to find out exactly what you need. Now, if you guys need notary on your certificate of origin, then you got to request us to be able to get that done, because we got to get it notarized and then have a signature on it and then send it to you guys, so that way it's all done in one shot. You get all your documents, all the paperwork, and the bike delivered all at once. So mirrors, easy throttle and clutch right here. Throttle is right up here on this side. You got a nice little digital screen, blinkers, LED lights, top speed about 55. Very compact bike, a great beginner's bike, I think, in my opinion. And like I said, $13.99, you can't just beat that price. You'll be able to learn how to shift gears. If you already know how to ride this thing, great, even great. So you can start enjoying it from day one and not spend any time learning how to work this bike out. Ride around the neighborhood, cruise around the city, wherever you take it to. If you're in campground, so you want to ride something like this, you go and do that. If you're in a racetrack pits, going from one stop to another, you want a motorcycle to do that instead of walking, you're more than welcome to do that. Car meets, whatever, wherever you take it to. It's a very compact bike. It's not a heavy duty bike at all by any means. Compact bike, different types of usage. And share us, you know, what do you use this bike for? And I can probably mention that on another video. So that's what I know so far, just ride around the city. People also use this as a commuter vehicle in Texas. Sometimes they want to, like, if they work right down the street from their house, maybe a mile, 2 miles, a couple of blocks away from their home, and they want something like this, they usually come to us and ask us if you have like a small size motorcycle that I can use to go back and forth to work. So people love to ride in Texas. It's mostly sunny out here, so almost 12 months you can ride this, except for when it's really cold and raining. So that's that. And maybe in your state you're able to ride it. You might have a small window and you might have to store this, you never know. Oh, as far as storing goes, so winterizing it. So if this is a seasonal bike for you guys, it is carbureted. So what do you got to do? You got to drain out all the gas from the fuel tank and use ethanol free gas. That's recommended for this, right? So that's the type of gas we recommend. If you can't get a hold of ethanol free gas, you can put regular gas in there. It's got high ethanol on it. It's bad for the carburetor, but there's a solution. You can buy a treatment. Fuel treatments are out there available. You can get those fuel stabilizers for very cheap. And at the bottom of the bottle that you buy on the fuel stabilizer, it's got the proportion that you got to put in per gallon, or you know, whatever this. Let's say if you're putting in 1.5 gallons, it'll tell you on the bottle at the bottom how much fuel stabilizer you got to put in. So that will help stabilize the ethanol, which is good for the carburetor. Now, winterizing it, drain out all the gas, and I would, if I were you, I would also undo the battery, get the terminals off of the battery, and leave it on the side. And whenever you do get ready to ride it, you know, put fresh fuel on it, and then connect the battery, or maybe throw it in a trickle charge for maybe a couple hours, and then turn it on. This bike will ride fresh. It will start right up and you'll have no problems. Now you do have to keep maintaining it with spark plug changes, inspecting that, oil, air filters. There's no oil filters on it. There's like a little retainer that you get when you drain out the oil. You just clean that up and put it back on. So no separate oil filters. There you got to change every oil change. And change out the oil every, I would say, for the first time, since it's got shipping oil, you got to use that for the break-in, get the valve sealed in right. So you use that for like a couple of hours, I would say. And then later on, every 300 miles you put on this machine, You could change out the oil every season. If it's a seasonal bike, maybe change it out once a year. And if you're using it daily, I would say probably 500-700 miles. I've seen this bike, people have put on up to 10,000 miles on it. It reads pretty decent and accurate. So, I mean, this bike will last you guys. At $13.99, get it to your doorstep. Make sure you go check out that link in the description below. And if you have any more questions, please call us at 469-669-1313 and we'll be more than happy to answer all your questions. We're open from 10 to 6 Central Time every day here in Texas. Our full address is 1290 West Pioneer Parkway, Grand Prairie, Texas. We're right across from Chick-fil-A, right off of the Highway 161 and Pioneer Parkway intersection. We're the only store over here. Alright guys, so what we'll do now is start it up. We've already prepped this bike for you, so we can go and start it up and show you guys how it sounds and take it from there. Alrighty guys, that's it with the driving part. Looks and feels great to drive this bike, and like I said, if you go and place your order on this bike, you can bring it home. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and that's it on this bike. So I'll see you guys on another one.